Another nice day here in the Suzuka circuit. Another nice day to host a Grand Prix race in Formula Hololive. Welcome everyone to round 6 of Formula Hololive Japan. It's the Suzuka Grand Prix coming right up. And speaking of Suzuka, let's take a look into the track map, of course. What's a intro to the Grand Prix without a track map? So anyways, 5.8 kilometers of racetrack await us with 18 corners in total, similar to what we've seen in Hololive GT3 yesterday. Hopefully everyone has tuned into the Hololive GT3 race. It was crazy, manic, and the finish is just about the finish you'd probably want to expect in Hololive GT3. Speaking of Formula Hololive, however, 53 laps compared to the 42 we've had in Hololive GT3, 50 more kilometers of racing compared to the Hololive GT3 to Suzuka 500, for around 305 kilometers of racing for today. We're looking at target lap time for Formula Hololive 1:32.505. So these beasts are really quick in terms of getting through to the corners. They're very high aerodynamic when it comes to their car model and all that stuff. Remember, it's a postseason round, so it has double the points for double the amount of positions. And it's in the second half of the season, so we can also talk about that as well. It's also regarded as one of Japan's best overall tracks. Of course, there's also Fuji, but usually when it comes to legendary statuses, Suzuka has got to be up there. So, looking into the points format here, we're looking into the points format as we've mentioned earlier. We are doubling the amount of points for the winner while also opening up the positions to double the amount. Where in the regular split season, we'll have 15 drivers finish in the points. This time we'll have 30 drivers finish in the points in this ARO postseason points format. You can pause this video at any given moment if you want to take some time to reading the postseason points format, because we're gonna go straight forward into the overall standings. So anyways, looking into the overall standings after the Boraram round, Shadareza, who just had his most recent Formula Hololive win in Boraram, has also just received his most recent Hololive GT3 win in Suzuka after Kento Kai in the Akirosenthal car got a 30-second time penalty for causing a collision. He was obviously the provisional winner, but he was bumped down to 11th as a result. And then we also have Callan Gibbons and Mohamed Cashew in the other top 3 positions. Daniel Barger and Nini De Perez making up a Mikomet 4-5. Then we also have Daniel Goyena, winner of the overall split championship in Formula Hololive. He sits 6th. Richie is in 7th. Hofumi is currently in 8th. And then we also have Kizohara Leo 9th and Sean Pauli in 10th. Yuan Sinful is in 11th with Hana Remiyuki in 12th and Tanarao 13th, Shakareza 14th. Kamina Riba is in 15th place, and then we have Rim Olga, Raji Kaczynski, Shangolai, Maverick, Dusiem, and Irene Nakamura. Obviously, also for Nakamura, congratulations for her on getting her first top 5 in Hololive GT3. Very nice to see. Michael Turner is in 21st alongside Fabio Mendes, who last won in Sepang in the split AF Holo race. Ray Liu and Zeke Wimberley make up 23rd and 24th alongside Crystal Salman in 25th. Aaron Mazzi and Kento Kai in 26 and 27. Keiko Takabashi 29th. Takeda Adachi is in Takabashi is in 28th. Adachi is in 29th, and Jeff Clark, who makes his return to the Nakiri Aime car after a round's absence in September, he returns to represent Nakiri Aime. He'll be in 30th place. Hinoshi Taiyo is in 31st place after there was a confirmation that Hinoshi will be taking over the Formula Hololive operation of Shirakami Fubuki, with Richie Rod taking over Hololive GT3. Anyways, Hinoshi Taiyo, 31st currently for Shirakami Fubuki. Jeff Rohan, 32nd for Takuya Mitoa, for Kamal, 33rd for Yukan Alami, and the only 2 drivers who have scored less than 100 points, Dan Evans and Ed Sky, representing Takani Lui and Kazama Iroha respectively. And just wanted to remind you that this is the knockout standings, or rather we want to call it the postseason standings. You can read this to your leisure. It's basically the top 30 finishers of the Boraram round. We don't want to gloss over into this way too long here, so we're just gonna get into the thick of things. So welcome everyone to the Suzuka Grand Prix here in Suzuka Circuit. Hopefully everyone here is gonna be very much excited for what races we are gonna be paying attention to, because so basically So anyways, yeah, the Suzuka racetrack, obviously a legendary racetrack for everyone to be in right now. We're looking at a lot of drivers taking different philosophies. So anyways, we're finally getting this qualifying session underway. And by the way, welcome everyone to Suzuka. I'm Mama Reza in the commentary booth. And right now it's just me in the commentary booth. So hopefully everyone can work out their kinks of, we have me being the only commentator on board. So we're just about to finish the first minute of qualifying, and right now we have had around nearly half of the cars out on track. Anita Perez, just wanted to tell you a bit of a story. Anita Perez was in the lead at the final stages of the race before Perez got tagged by Kento Kai. Obviously, Perez was the big loser out of this, got spun out, exiting 130R after making contact with Kento Kai. Perez is looking to find some vengeance here in Formula Hololive with probably a repeat showing, but we'll have to wait and see because we haven't seen Perez really blister through to make a hot lap. Speaking of which, we're going to go on board with Perez for a lap here in Suzuka. So obviously, you got to exit the Casio Triangle and try to be careful with the throttle inputs on the final corner because it's off camber. Anyway, you got this long main straight, so you can really try to stretch your legs here. Oh, flat around turn 1 here compared to the GT3 cars, and a slight dab on the brake into turn 2. You gotta take the S's like one corner. Easy. Obviously, he's got traffic in front. She's got traffic in front, so she'll have to take note of that. Coming into Dunlop here, you gotta go for the late apex for this quite long run coming into Degner. 50-meter board. You can brake just before the curves now. Coming into Degner. Easy into the underhead section. Coming into the hairpin. Right-hander. Then slam on the brakes. Second gear, maybe first gear. Second gear for Perez as she exits the hairpin, trying to use the slipstream, but that usually in the corners that is not going to be a good thing because that's going to be a lot of dirty air. Coming into Spoon, you can try to tempt yourself into braking very late here, and now Perez coming into the back of what should be Rim Allgore. Into the back straight she goes. 116.631 for her in the second sector, and I think she's gonna be held up at this rate. Oh, really having to lift off there, being held up by Allgore, which looks like. Apologies here, it's not Rim Allgore, Sean Pauly. Colors got mixed up there. So anyway, that's a lap here in Suzuka. Of course, it's a bit compromised here because Sean Pauly is just starting out his hot lap here. So anyways, we got the first lap times on the board. That will be for Anita Perez. Next driver to cross the line will be Takeda Adachi. A bit slower by around 3 seconds. Kamine Riba is also looking to complete his lap. But unfortunately, he's going to be at around at a 144. A lot of training of cars trying to complete their laps here. You can see here. And Daniel Barger continuing to show up with a 138.863. That will be provisional pole as it stands. Which Reza might try to steal the show. The answer is going to be no. Barger still has the outright fastest lap here in this qualifying session, representing Hoshimachi Suisei, who of course has been favoring the bright uniform over the origin uniform. And now we can see Barger really showing off his racing skills. Looking into the top 5 at the moment, we have Remo Allgore in second, Perez in third, Fumi in fourth, and Shad Reza in 5th. And again, we're looking at another impressive display from Christoph Salomon, but this time we're looking at his displays in Formula Hololive. Another nice sight to see. And looking into the rest of the field, we have Fabi Mendes crossing through the line to get into the top 10, but not before Sean Paul completes his lap. He gets into 9th place. Zeke Wimberley completes his lap. He goes into 13th. Goyena is slots into 14th. Shaki Reza slots into 15th. Jeff Clark in his return to Formula Hololive, he gets into 12th. Hanari Miyuki gets into 7th. Kizuhara Leo gets into the front row. 139, 148. An impressive showing of these drivers as more lap times are being completed. Ed Sky gets into 24th place. More lap times being completed. Hinoshi Taiyo gets into 9th place. Callum Gibbons, 12th place. Salomon improves to get into the top 5. We're seeing a lot of ramping up here in terms of, as far as lap times are concerned. More drivers finding pace as the qualifying session continues to get underway. Kizuhara Leo in the front row. That's what the Shiokos want to see. Obviously, Shion is also one of the few members who had been preferring to use the bright uniforms over the Origin uniforms in the 2023 season. Oh, and Daniel Barger has it off. This is very weird. I think he's had a very wide exit off of Deckner, and I assume that he also spun out into the gravel trap, but don't worry, Barker's back out on track. That's nice for every Hoshiyomi to see, as he still stays in pole position. Sean Pauli currently in 11th place after being bumped down by Hanari Miyuki, Hinoshi Taiyo, and the like and all that stuff. Anyway, Sean Pauli is going to try to find some improvements in this qualifying session as he currently aims for a spot inside the top 10. Will there be an improvement in the first sector? The answer is no. Almost a second off on the first sector. Meanwhile, Mohamed Kashi for Ramel gets up into 23rd place in qualifying. As we see more drivers exiting the pit lane here. And it's going to be a flurry of cars trying to complete their laps. Just want to get into an intermission a bit just to check up on current situations here. We have confirmation that we have a few drivers coming into the pits to have short service fuel and tires. One of these drivers is, of course, Crystal Salman and Mohamed Shazad Reza. Hinoshi Taiyo is also in the pit lane for quite a while now. Danilo Goyena, though, we also wanted to give a shout out to Goyena. First podium in the Hololive GT3 for Usada Pecora and all the Nosaki watching. Obviously, Goyena has an amazing run to be in second. I believe Goyena all finished third in the provisional results before Ketokai got his penalty. And as we said that, Goyena is the one that gets into the top 10. 140, 177 is a lap time for him as the Usada Pecora number 11 gets into the top 10. Looking into the rest of the field here, it's looking to be pretty interesting here. The top 10 at the moment. We have Hanari Miyuki, who has had the Kanataka perform pretty well in Formula Hololive as of late, is back into the top 10. Reba is nowhere to be seen into the top 25 positions. If you want to know why, looking into the rest of the field here, Nakamura is in 29th, Sky's in 28th. Adachi Ryu is stuck in 31st, Jeff Rohan 32nd, and Tadera is in 33rd, Reba 34th, and Lorenzo Ricci is in 35th. A bad day for the Italians, as both Italians are currently in the bottom two positions. Current orders in qualifying, we have Shadran Reza who just got out of the pits. He will try again for another lap here Obviously, he's very much pumped. He's in form. He's got his 6th win, his record-breaking win in the Hololive GT3 yesterday in Suzuka, obviously. So anyways, as he completes his move around the SS coming into Dunlop, as in Dunlop, 35.147 is the time to beat for him. Where will he stand? The answer is going to be 35.853, and I think there's a guy off. Oh, there is a guy off, and that's Jeff Clark. He also spun at the exit of, at the entry of Degner. He's going to try to get that number 18 car back up. So I think that has slowed down enough on that yellow flag section, as you can see here. Jeff Clark, I think, is back into the pits here. Teleported back into the pits. Anyway, back to Shazin Reza. He's going to try to get that Luna car up into as high of a position as he wants. He's currently in 7th place. Oh, still a second off of that second sector here, but he's going for a lower downforce setup, as you can see. So he's gonna try to make use of the front straight and back straight to try to claw back some lap time. And meanwhile, Altus Antanarao from the bottom 5 into the top 10. Welcome, Altus Antanarao. And meanwhile, Shazin Reza improves to get into the top 5. Bumps Salman down to 6. He's currently leading the Formula Hololive Japan standings, and he's looking to try his best to maintain that status quo. Because look at Callum Gibbons, he's down in 16th, and Cashew is down in 25th. So as for the championship hopefuls, Shazin Reza is in the best position possible. Kizaru Leo is about to start his lap once again. Daniel Barger is also going to resume his efforts to try to bang in a faster lap to cement his place in pole position. He has already won in Hololive GT3 for Hoshimaki Suisei. The Suisei car in Formula Hololive has already won in Formula Hololive. Can we see a... Speaking of which, Daniel Salman actually makes it into the front row. Surprise, surprise. And also, I think there's also an upset because Sean Goliath is also in 8th place. So we have a massive upset coming into the final stages of the qualifying. Salman is now in the front row. Goliath is in 8th place. Daniel Barger is going to try to cement his place into the top spot. While looking into Kizaru Leo, who is currently on his penultimate lap, it seems. Under a hairpin he goes. Okay, just wanted to remind everyone of the current status quo. The front row now consists of Gen 0 members Daniel Barger and Crystal Salman. Well, they represent Gen 0 members, Suisei and Askew respectively. Into Spoon Curve, will really be on the attack. Not wanting to tempt track limits too much, he stays off it. Coming into the timing being for Sector 2. It's still not going to be enough, 1.5 seconds slower. So he's not finding a lot of lap time, but we're going to be paying attention to Salman and Barger. Salman has a good amount of clean air, but he's being held up by traffic. So that's not going to do him any favors. So anyways, back to Daniel Barger coming into Dunlop. Coming into Degner into the first sector timing loop. Ooh, he's not far behind on his Sector 1 lap, Sector 1 time here. Only 0.07 of a second behind. Into the hairpin. Daniel Barger trying to solidify his place in pole position here as he tries to bring that Suisei car up into Spoon Curve. Of course, like any other driver, they've been told about track limits there. No one's going to try to tempt track limits as much as they can. Otherwise, they're going to get a penalty, so everyone's just going to try to behave as much as possible. Anyways, Barger, who actually improves there on the second sector, but he's still down overall. He lost 7 hundredths in the first sector. He's only gained 4 hundredths in the second sector. Can he gain 3/10 of a second, 3/100ths of a second on the final second to gain some time? Meanwhile, Kento Kai continuing his amazing form. He's now jumped up to 4th place. Daniel Barger does not improve. 138.724 is going to be for him as he completes a qualifying session on pole. Daniel Goyena continues to impress. He now slots in 11th place, just ahead of Antana Rao. More ramping up here on this qualifying session. We just don't know who's going to be in what position. But it looks to me that Daniel Barger, he actually gained over like a tenth of a second or two on that final sector for him to get solidify his place in pole position with a 138.724. Nakamura jumps into 19th place coming into the end of this qualifying session. Shazwan Reza is looking to end his qualifying session on a high. He's currently outside of top 5, but he's still in row 3. So there's still plenty of chances for Shazwan to try to reduce his arrears. He does find some improvements, but will it be enough? As you can see here, Shazwan Reza is very much down a lot on that second sector here, but does have that straight line advantage. You can see here, he's opted for a low downforce setup, but then most of the drivers gone for the high setup, a high downforce setup. So he's gonna struggle in the corners, but he's gonna try to gain a lot on the straights here as Shazwan Reza finally completes a lap here. That will be Shazwan Reza completing his lap, and there will be no improvement, and I think that will also be enough for this qualifying session. That was the last cars that have crossed the line. So we have Daniel Barger on pole position with Crystal Salman alongside on the front row. Very nice to see. So anyways, let's get on to the starting lineup here for the Suzuka Grand Prix. Daniel Barger for Hoshimachi Suisei starts on pole, 138.724. 138.888 goes to Crystal Salman, who starts alongside Barger on the front row. Kizuhara Leo will start 3rd place for Murasaki Shion, alongside Kento Kai in 4th place, who looks to try to redeem his 11th place run in yesterday's race. He obviously had a penalty. Rem Olgo 5th place for Otara Subaru, alongside Shazwan Reza hit for Himamori Luna. That makes it a Suba Luna 3rd row. Anita Perez for Sakura Miko alongside Hofumi on row 8. That makes it another Gen 1 row 4. Chocolile with a decent qualifying session in 9th place, alongside Calum Gibbons in 10th place for Roboco. Daniel Goyena and Alto Santana all start alongside each other, representing Pekora and Okai respectively. Inochi Tayo's first stint in Formula Hololive will result in him starting 13th, alongside Michael Turner in 14th, representing Fubuki and Oro respectively. Farah Kamal starts alongside Hanari Miyuki in 15th for Kanata, and Farah Kamal starts 16th for Lamy. Shopolo starts 17th for Inugami Korone, alongside Keiko Takaboshi in 18th for Shiranoi Flair. Irene Nakamura, after her first top 5 in Hololive GT3, will start 19th here at Formula Hololive, alongside Johan Sinfold in 20th for Natsuhiro Matsuri. Daiji Kazuki starts 21st, alongside Maverick Ducien in 22nd. They represent Yuzuki Choko and Shishiro Bota respectively. Suba Luna is in 5th and 6th. Chocotan is in 22nd and 21st and 22nd. Jeff Clark in his return to Formula Hololive will start 23rd for IMA, and Fabio Mendes, who won in Sepang in Formula Hololive Split A, starts 24th for Hakui Koyori. Zeke Wimbley starts 25th for Okami Mio, alongside Shaka Reza in the 26th spot for Momosu Nene. Cashew starts 27th alongside Ria Liu in the row 14. Yosu Ramel and Sakamata Chloe respectively. And then we have Ed Sky representing Kazama Iroha in 29th, alongside Dan Evans in 30th for Takani Lui. Jeff Ron starts 31st for Tokiyami Toa, alongside Takeda Adachi in 32nd for Laplace Darkness. Takamine Rebel starts 33rd for Omar Polka, alongside Aaron Massey in 34th. And Lorenzo Ricci starts at the back of the grid. He sets only a 142.022. And that rounds out the field for the Suzuka Grand Prix here. So let's talk about pre-race previews here. It's going to be pretty tricky to see who is going to be edging ahead of who. And right now we're looking into a variety of strategies here, especially for a 305-kilometer race. Who's going to pit early, who's going to pit late, who's going to go for the undercut, who is going to go for the overcut. Well, it's basically a guessing game as to what strats everyone is going to take. So anyways, we're just going to go straight into the action here. We are looking into a grid of 35 cars here in Suzuka. We're gonna immediately get into lights out here. As we can see here, Daniel Barger starts on pole position alongside Crystal Salaman on the front row. The Suzuka Grand Prix is about to get underway, and we're gonna have the lights out, and we are ready to go. And looking into Salaman, who has a sub-decent start, who actually scratched that. He has a very good start. Look at Salaman, who's gonna try to stake his claim into the lead of the race early on into the first two corners. Salaman shuffles Daniel Barger off, and that's gonna be Crystal Salaman leading this race here. Everyone has 10 laps of push to pass to use right now, and right now we also have Hofu Mi also gaining a few positions here, but it looks to me that the running order has been messed up here. Apologize for that. The timing tower is a bit misleading here, as we have not picked up Daniel Barger in second place. But anyways, let's gonna give you all a rundown on the top 10. Salaman has currently taken the lead against Daniel Barger at the start. Kizaru Leo is currently in third. Kanto Kai stays in the fourth. Rim Olgar is in fifth place alongside Shazan Reza in sixth place. Fumi 7th, Perez is in 8th, and Tannerau in 9th, and Michael Turner rounds out the top 10. And there is a bit of an off here, because we have noticed that Callum Gibbons and Sean Golial have made contact with each other. We're going to check what's happened to them at the end of this race here. Commiserations for Callum Gibbons and Sean Golial, who have crashed out on lap 1 here in Suzuka. Obviously, Callum Gibbons in a position to win the split overall championship. Now his hopes are going to be dashed here. As you can see, drivers side by side at 130R here. This Mohamed Cashew and Ri Liu, it seems here. And now Cashew and Liu trying to battle it out for 22nd place here. The status quo still remains as they are here. As you can see here, Cashew is just ahead of Ri Liu, but will Ri Liu make the dive bomb? The answer is no. Cashew stays ahead. We have around 52 laps to go here in Suzuka. And right now, we have Crystal Salaman already building up a massive buffer. He leads his first laps in the ARO. Ironically, in Formula Hololive as well. Kentakai currently in 4th place on hot pursuit against Kizaru Leo. We have also Cashew against Mendes side by side. They're still side by side exiting Deckner, coming into the hairpin. It looks like me that Cashew has the inside line and he might have the better shot at defending. But looking into Fabio Mendes, who actually has a better run, he's also going to try to shuffle Cashew offline. He's just alongside to try to keep Cashew on his toes. And looking into Ri Liu, he's going to try to probably save an opportunity or two. Side by side coming into Spoon. Fabio has the outside line, but Cashew has the preferred inside line. Cashew might just be able to defend. And now Cashew is on the hunt against Jeff Clark. A lot of action here coming into 130R. There's a bit of rubbing there between the two, but for currently it's all good between them. Salaman sets the fastest slot, 139.917. Oh, still side by side, even at the Castillo triangle. Cashew is gonna try to make 2 overtakes in 1 lap, and it looks to me that he might just be able to do so as Cashew crosses the line ahead of Clark. He might just be able to defend, but Clark is not done yet. Sequimilli has mentioned previously that there's gonna be drivers bunching up here as the first laps tick down, so expect a lot of action at the start of the race, and we're seeing that as well with Clark and Cashew. But before that, Cashew and Mendes, and even before that, Cashew and Liu. But we also want to take a look here that Jeff Clark actually managed to defend his position against Cashew. So we have confirmation here. We are looking into the tire marks over there. There is contact between Callum Gibbons and Sean Golial, who unfortunately for Golial has to retire at Deckner on lap 1 for the second race in a row. He did it in Hololive GT3 yesterday. He's done it again in Formula Hololive today, unfortunately. And this time he also got collected by Callum Gibbons. Just a Salman still having control over this race. 1.6 seconds ahead of Daniel Barger, but as we've seen here in these races multiple amounts of times here, nothing is certain. But again, we have Salman setting the fastest lap of the race. He's the trendsetter. 139.830 is the lap time to beat for everyone, and that is currently being held by Salman. On board number 31, that is Mohammed Shadrin Reza, arriving for Himamori Luna here. He's currently in 6th place. Doing a very good job here after winning in Formula Hololive GT3 yesterday. We also want to talk about Kizuhara Leo, though. He hasn't been showing much potential in Formula Hololive recently, given how Shion Rai has been taken over by Shilaki in the first 4 rounds. But now I get to see a real Shioko back in the seat. It's nice to see Leo showing his prowess. Into the next stages of this race. We're here in Suzuka for the Suzuka 500. Obviously, there's still a lot of action coming right up. Meanwhile, we're also going to be taking a look though at Fumi, who's getting very close there to Shadrin Reza, who has actually not really falling behind against the likes of Rim Olgor, but he is a bit behind. Meanwhile, looking into Salman, who is still controlling this race by far. He's gained a good amount of lap time now, 1.8 seconds. 139.817, another fastest lap for Salman as he continues to pelt through the Suzuka circuit with authority. Into the S's he goes, and you can see here some trains are being formed, if I'm not mistaken, here behind Shadrin Reza, who is not catching up to Olgor, especially on the downforce heavy sections here. As you can see, Shadrin with a very quite lower front wing than everyone else here. We're just gonna check the rear wing. You can see clearly that Shadrin Reza is running a less downforce than some drivers would attest to. He's actually matching the amount of downforce with Perez, but I think Perez is also running a lower amount of downforce. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a shuffling for position here coming into Deckner. Sean Pauly has overtaken Sahan Sinful for 14th place. There's just a lot of action in Suzuka, and obviously if we missed a few overtakes, apologies here. We'll try to make it up in the replays, but most of it is going to cover crashes. So anyways, Salman is going to be using up his next push to pass, as what will everyone else. Battle packs already forming here in Suzuka. We're about to pass through the end of the first 10th of the race here. 30 kilometers of racing looks to conclude right here, right now. You can see here Barger with his personal best, still slower than Salman on that last lap. And Tanneron currently in 9th place, and you can see here he's trying his best to, how do we put this, get close into Anita Perez's back. And right now he might have the ability to do so, but Perez having a good setup there, despite having a low downforce car. She's able to catch up to Fumi, which is nice to see. Shadrin Reza in 6th place. Trying to hang on to position. Well, there's a bit of a side-by-side position. There's contact between Sean Pauly and Johan Sinful there coming into Deckner. But this time, Both of them are coming safely, but no, there's contact between Dusiem and also looks to be Keiko Takaboshi also involved. A very unfortunate sight to see as we're seeing another contact at Degner curve, and that resulted in another set of casualties, this time involving 2 more drivers. We've seen Colin Gibbons and Sean Goliath get tangled at the start, and now we're seeing Maverick Dusiem and Keiko Takaboshi being very unlucky that they were side by side at Degner. They were being very aggressive. They made contact with each other, and both of them spun out of the gravel, and that's their race is over. Another twist here in Suzuka, as the circuit has seen 2 more victims to its name. Dusiem and Takaboshi obviously being involved in the crash. And just wanted to check here. Yeah, it's a bit ugly here looking into the incident. There was contact between Paul and Sinful early on, but oh, it was ugly. There was contact, and I think it was Takaboshi got tagged in the middle of Degner. So a very unfortunate sight for the L Friends and the SSRB. Their Oshi's cars have been taken out in a racing incident, so both of them are out of the race. Commiserations for both of them. Anyways, back into the racing scenarios here. Kento Kai still hanging on to 4th place. Leo still hanging on to 3rd. Looking into different situations here. Salman still continues to dominate this race. We're not going to be seeing any lap time pit lane activity until maybe around lap 20. This is to ensure everyone gets to pit once and not try to pit very early here. Fumi on Shazan Rezas is back. Well, now has actually lost touch to Olgor, because Olgor is now pulled away. Kento Kai currently in 4th place. And Akiroto Dolkar trying to erase the damage done by that penalty that he actually caused yesterday. Looking into current positions here, Barger in 2nd place, losing touch to Salman 1 by 1. You see Salman already has a 2.8 second gap. Salman is dominating here in Formula Hololive. We talked about the quality of Salman that he has, driver's quality that Salman has. And he currently shows that right now. He's got good amounts of racecraft. He managed to get into the front row, steal a race lead away from Barger at the start, and now Salman is looking very fine and dandy to try to win for ASCII in Formula Hololive. For Crystal Salman, has been pretty oh, you can see here there's a side-by-side battle once more at Degner. You can see here Cashew against Clark once again, but this time Clark gets up into a few positions here, but now before Cashew tries to fight back, and now Jeff Clark's gonna try to have a very good exit in this section of racetrack, but it looks to me that Cashew might still have the inside line coming into Spoon. He's gonna try to make a dive bomb. I don't think he's close enough, but he is at least alongside. Ooh, nice dive a nice move by Cashew to steal a position away from Clark, and now Cashew has his eyes set on Shakareza for what should be a double overtake move. Cashew continues to climb up the ranks. Oh, gets way too close at 130R, but Cashew just manages to stay ahead of Shakareza, and now Shakareza now has to deal with Clark. Shakareza loses out to Clark just a bit there, and you can see here Cashew gains a lot of positions here. Speaking of which, let's take a look into the progress chart here. Cashew has gained 9 positions from the start, and we haven't even considered pit stops just yet. The only drivers to stay in where they started is Arkizar Leo, Kento Kai, Rim Olgor, Mohamed Shazan Reza. But meanwhile, we are seeing a lot of movements here for the majority of these drivers. Looking at the gaps here, Salman still pulls away against Barger. And these two have pulled away against Kizuhara Leo, who have now pulled up nearly a 10-second of a gap between Barger and Leo. And then there's Kento Kai and Olgor Sadareza. Just want to notice here, Kizuhara Leo. He's actually lost touch to Barger. He's actually holding up Kento Kai the rest of the field here. He's actually forming a train behind, and that's going to be a beehive, as we mentioned before in Hololive GT3, and that's going to end very well if you're in the right person. It's gonna end well if you're in the wrong person. Anyway, Salman continues to set fastest lap after fastest lap. 1:39.705 this time for Salman, and Barger does not improve. That means Salman continues to pull away. Olgor against Kai. It's not gonna be enough. Shadariza tries to get close, but not close enough. And you can see here, so much positions. Left, right, and center. As you can see here, a lot of battle packs forming for the drivers leading these battle packs. It's the drivers that are not pulling away against the drivers ahead of them. They're actually losing touch to the drivers ahead, but are just fast enough to prevent an overtake happening at the back. And that actually plays in Cassius's hand on making a supreme comeback. He started 27. He started 27. He's now up to 18th place. And right now his road to make a comeback, it continues to show. And right now we're on lap 10 here in Suzuka for the Suzuka Grand Prix. Kento Kai, 4th place. Still stuck behind Leo there, who still is behind Barger and Salomon. Leo's trying his best to bring home a podium for the Shioko and Murasaki Shion for the first time in Formula Hololive. $139.909 for Salman, 140.089 for Barger. Still pulling away at Salman, but only by around a tenth of a second this time. Barger, with the better tire management, might just be able to nurse his way into a mid-stage scare here. Let's go on board Barger to see where their tires are at the moment. You can see here Salman has got somewhere. We will have another battle between Cashew and Kaczynski there. As Cashew now gets ahead of Kaczynski, he makes the overtake at 130R. Having a very good exit there against Kaczynski. Cashew continues his amazing comeback to the field. He now has gained 10 position from his start. Cashew has been very fun to watch. He's had a lot of amazing racecraft. He's got a lot of moves up his sleeve, and he continues to eye a few more positions here this time. He's aiming for Airi Nakamura's 16th place. Sean Paul is not far behind in 15th. Sinful in 14th. Look, you see a lot of drivers just bunching up. There could be a move here into Deckner. If there might be a crash if they're not careful. Coming into Deckner. Oh, there's another battle here between Clark and Kaczynski. And this time, Clark goes ahead of Kaczynski. There's no contact this time. Exciting stuff here in Formula Hololive. Lots of action left, right, and center. But with the driver that has to catch all of our eyes here, it has got to be Mohamed Cashew, who started 27th, now up to 17th. He's gained 10 positions now. He's now aiming for an opportunity against Nakamura. Will Nakamura fluff up the exit of Spoon? You can see here Cashew having a very okay exit. It's not going to be enough against Nakamura as it stands. Ooh, nearly 300 kilometers at the exit of 130R, which shows you the amount of speed these Formula Hololive cars have. Meanwhile, Fumi tries to get close to Shadrin Reza, who's currently in 6th place. He has already won 3 times in Formula Hololive, and he's currently in the championship lead, albeit not by much. But he's going to try to minimize the damage as much as he can, given that Kyle Gibbons is already crashed out alongside Sean Galal on lap 1. But he still has Kento Kai to beat if he wants to stretch his championship lead. But as it stands, Shadrin Reza is going to have his lead slightly withered down to just a few points. Looking into the championship order here. But then again, it's still pretty much okay. But as it stands at the moment here, Kento Kai, who's currently down in 27th place here, he's gonna try to stamp his place into the championship hunt. He still only has 3 rounds to go, but if he can maximize the results and have results go his way, he might be a dark horse title contender. But for now, looking into title contenders here, Cashew is in 17th right now, 3rd place in overall standings. Gibbons has already crashed out. He's not going to be scoring any points. It's going to be a case of Chadariza extending his championship lead over his rivals. And you can see here, Leo now pulls away. He now activates his trump card and tries to get close into Barger and Salman. And this time, it's Kai defend off against Olgor, Chadariza, and Fumi. Turn around in 9th place, trying to make a move against Perez in 8th place, but obviously they're not close enough. Looking into Cashew, who's currently in 17th, trying to still find a way past Nakamura. Farah Kamal is now leading this train. Farah Kamal, I think, back in the saddle here in terms of getting the Lamy car back up, because right now Farah Kamal, who has finished just outside the top 10 last race in Hololive GT3, is now currently in 12th place, just outside the top 10, which is very nice to see. Meanwhile, looking into Sinful, Paulie. Oh, Paulie is trying to defend against Irene Nakamura, who actually have gone into the outside of Dow. There's could be contact, could be ugly between the two. Still nothing between them. You can see here Nakamura have now still stolen a position against Paulie, and now Cashew's gonna try to try his fancy against Nakamura. Paul's gonna try his fancy against Nakamura. That's not gonna do Paulie any wonders. And now Cashew's gonna try to make a move. You can see here the outside of Deckner in a GT3 car with less downforce, you might not be able to have the car locked in, but in these Formula Hololive cars with a lot of downforce, you might just be able to. And right now, looking into Mohamed Cashew, who's currently in 17th place, trying to eye a move against Sean Paulie, and right now, the exit is not the best. Not what he'd hoped for. And speaking of gaps closing down, we also want to pay attention to Barger, who's gaining against Salman. Now the gap is 2.7 seconds, 2.6 seconds from a 3.8. So I think Salman has used up a lot of tires at the start, and now is looking to be reeled in by his fellow Gen 0 compatriot Daniel Barger. You can see the tires. There is wear on both of them, and I can't really discern which one has worse wear. While looking into the rest of the field, Rim Olgor trying to catch up to Kento Kai, who is only 6/10 behind. Looking into this battle again, we have Nakamura now overtaking Sinful at Dunlop. A very good move there, but it's going to be very ugly there. There's also a lot of side-by-side action between Paulie and Sinful. There might be another side-by-side battle here. Paulie trying to defend against Sinful as he continues to go down the field. Meanwhile, we're going to be seeing more side-by-side action between Sinful and Paulie. And this time, Paulie gets back up to 15th place. Sinful will have the inside line at this corner, but at the next corner, smooth curve, Sean Paulie will have the inside line. Will he be close enough? The answer is going to be no. Sinful manages to overtake Sean Paulie, and another twist here in the Suzuka racetrack here. Ari Nakamura has gone off wide against at the exit of Spoon, but this time we're looking at Sinful trying to make a move against Nakamura. Another Gen 1 battle at the helm. And right now, it's looking pretty nice here. As you can see here, Barger continues to pull one back against Salman. The gap's now dropped down to 2.1 seconds. No pit stop activity at the moment. But given that this is the amount of racing that we're having here in Suzuka, and we're not even on lap 20 yet, that just shows you the amount of racing we should be expecting around the next stages of this race. Cashew, who has now dropped down to 18th place after being re-overtaken by Jeff Clark, just shows you that, like we mentioned, it's a beehive of attacks and defenses, especially in mid-pack and especially at the front if they are not careful enough. Looking into the back of the field here, the last of the drivers currently running is currently let's see, who runs 31st? Oh, wait. I think we have another driver crashed. Maverick CM has crashed. Takaboshi has crashed. Right now, we just don't know who's currently in 33rd. This is going to be a bit interesting to see who's currently in 33rd right now. Just wanted to scroll down the rest of the drivers here. Oh, wait. We have Danilo Goyena, who actually is not recorded into the timing tower just yet. Danilo Goyena is actually in 11th place. And then we have Inochi Tayo in 12th place. So apologies here. I just want to remind you that Goyena is currently in 11th place. So we still have 4 drivers who have crashed out. And right now the last driver is currently I just wanted to check who's the last driver who have crashed. Lorenzo Ricci is currently in 31st place, and at the moment, he's currently not going to be able to score any points. But meanwhile, looking into Farah Kamal, Hinoshi Tayo is actually in 12th place here, trying to battle Danilo Goyena, who's currently in 11th place. We forgot to mention that Goyena is currently in 11th place. He has not been properly credited in the timing tower. Apologies here. Olgor currently in 5th place. But meanwhile, there could be more battles brewing here. Nakamura is going to try to pounce an opportunity against Miyuki. Oh, around the outside, but I think there's going to be another side-by-side battle between Paulie and Clark. I think it's not going to be close enough there. Some of them are about to be shuffled off there. Cash is looking for an opportunity against Clark, but the door's now firmly shut as they're still going to go single file, but Clark might have different ideas. Will he make a dive bomb down the inside? The answer is no. The stat score remains the same. But meanwhile, looking at the Barger, who is slowly losing touch to Salaman once again. The tides have turned back into Salaman's favor. But meanwhile, Olgor trying to find a way past Kento Kai. Checkers are trying to find a way into Kaczynski's gap. That number 77 Nene car has also seen 2 wins. Checkers has won in Hololive GT3 before, but that was last year at the Fuji Split B race, Split B race 1, at least the 3rd festival race. Looking into current situations here, Fumi is currently in 7th place, trying to find a way past Shadow Reza, who's currently hanging well in 6th place. Olgor's in 5th. Still. But meanwhile, there could be another battle brewing here. Coming into Dunlop here. You can see here who's going to be shuffling off here. And that looks to me Nakamura shuffling off. There's Sinful, and there's also Paulie. I don't think there's any other driver going side by side except maybe Jeff Clark, where he's too far back. And they remain single file, but I think some of the drivers have had a very poor exit there off of the exit of Deckner. And Barger pulls one back once again against Salman. The gas now dropped down to 2.1 seconds. Leo's losing touch to the top 2, but pulls away against Kento Kai. Rim Olgo's on the hunt against Kento Kai. Sadreza's under pressure from Fumi and Perez. And Tara's not far behind as well. Michael Turner, a very lonely race for him. He's currently in 10th place. Nochitayo is currently in 12th place, trying to get past Goyena, who's currently in 11th place. Still 4 cars retired from this race. Farakamal is in 13th place. Miyuki 14th. Nakamura 15th. Sinful 16th. Paulie 17th. Gets close. Not close enough. As you can see here, you can see the amount of distance that Nakamura has against Miyuki. And that just shows you how closely knit these cars are in terms of pace. And these drivers are always feisty for an overtaking move. You can see here the tires are starting to get very, very short. And whoever thinks of a undercut opportunity right now, by which the window should be open by now, they might come out a winner because they might steal a few positions in the mid-race. But they're going to have to defend a lot at the end of the race due to waning gaps, due to waning grips on their tires. And now looking into Barger's gap against Salman, it's now dropped down to 1.5 seconds behind. We will have Foley and Cashew battling. It's Cashew and Clark battling for 18th place here. Cashew trying to hang around the outside of this corner as it'll be the inside of Spoon Curve. Cashew might still have the inside line. And Cashew nearly getting the move done here, but it's not over yet for Clark. There's the first movers in pit lane. It's gonna be Althusser and Tanner. He's gonna try his luck in the undercutting strategy. Meanwhile, we'll have Cashew managing to defend against Clark. He's now up into 18th place. Farah Kamal barreling down the racetrack here. You can see here Daniel Goyena is now up into 10th place. Still not properly recorded in the timing tower. As you can see here, Nakamura, I believe, has also come into the pits as well. Adachi also staying out on track while looking into the rest of the field here. Where is Antara? Where is it looks like Nakamura has her fresh set of tires here right now. Looking in Antara, who's exited in 23rd. Nakamura is going to go down a lap, but only temporarily because obviously she is going to finally get out onto the racetrack here. But just manages to stay ahead of Kizaru Leo, and that's not going to do Kizaru Leo any favors here. Nakamura have exited ahead of Kizaru Leo, and that's going to open the door for Kento Kai to maybe think of an overtaking move. And that'll also open the door for Rim Olgo to finally pounce as well. And look at the drivers back in 6 and 7. They're also going to find an opportunity as well to close the gap. Kizaru Leo trying his best to find space against the lap car of Nakamura, and now Leo's gonna try to get himself back into contention, into the leaders here. The gas now dropped down to 21 seconds. Kai gets very close, but not close enough. Rim Olgo is also looking for an opportunity, but not close enough for him either. Shazard Reza not far behind as well. Fumi also not far behind in 7th place. You can see here Kento Kai getting very close to Leo. Leo getting very close to Nakamura. Nakamura's gonna try her best to make use of her undercut strategy, but this time Kizaru Leo's gonna try to peel around the outs inside. Oh, and there's contact between Nakamura and Leo, and that's a massive collision at the exit of 130R. Nakamura, who had the race probably in the bag, and now sees both cars crashing out very violently at the exit of 130R. And there has been a very hefty collision between the two. It looks like both drivers are also out of the race. And it looks to me that one of these drivers are going to be scoring points because one driver might still be in 30th place. What have we just witnessed? We have witnessed a massive collision at 130R between two cars who are battling for each of their races. They aren't supposed to really mess with each other's races, but with both of them out, that's got to be a very messy race here. There's gotta be a very messy incident here. Both drivers crashing out again. Suzuka claims victim to 2 more drivers now. Kizaru Leo obviously finally coming into the pits to retire. And it looks to me that Kizaru Leo will be the one finishing further, because Leo was actually ahead of Nakamura. And that will mean that Kizaru Leo will at least exit Suzuka with 1 point to his name. Again, a very violent crash between the two, but this time that's not going to be the race we're going to be talking about here, because Barker has now finally caught up to Salman. But that won't be relevant because Salman's come into the pits for his pit stop. The leaders come in for their fuel and tires, but this time it's going to be Crystal Salman first. He now has his car serviced. Will he put his undercut strategy to good use, or will he be stuck in traffic? And that'll open the door for Daniel Barker to win his first Formula Hololive race. Drivers shuffling up in the order here. Riba against Shadrin Reza. That's not gonna do well for Shadrin. Actually, he does do well for Shadrin. As you can see here, that's gonna give a lot of pressure for Fumi to try to overtake Riba as soon as possible. That gives Shadrin Reza a lot of breathing space, and he might thank and also curse Riba, because it's a double-edged sword. He could have gained more time against Olgor, but now that's not going to be the case. But meanwhile, we're looking at Salman exiting ahead of Michael Turner and having a good amount of clean air. Crucially, that allows Salman to try to pull in a few more seconds there on this undercut strategy. Lap 22 of the Suzuka Grand Prix, and we have now had 6 victims here in this race so far. We have seen some massive crashes. We have seen some incidents happening on lap 1. 6 drivers have crashed, and the 6th driver that has crashed, Kizaru Leo, is actually ahead of Nakamura. So he will be credited with a 30th place finish, and he will be scoring points. And we're seeing another battle here between Clark and Cashew. There's contact between the two. Jeff Clark spins out, and that will be another collision at Degner, with a very messy one at that. And that will mean Jeff Clark will be credited with a 29th place finish, as he will be the next retiree. It is a bloodbath and a half here. 7 drivers have now are now not going to finish this race due to a myriad of incidents happening. We're seeing a lot of drivers going fangs out, but sometimes they're fanging out at the wrong possible time in the wrong possible place, and that's gonna pay them very harshly. Barger still leads this race while looking the gap between Salman and Perez. Salman have gained a good amount of time against the leader. Let's take a look into the gaps to the leader here. As you can see here, Salman is only 43 seconds behind Barger. The pit stop delta is around 40 seconds. So if Salman can go 40 seconds behind the leader, when Barger finally pits, Salman will be in the lead. But of course, Barger pitting very much later than Salman will have the pace advantage coming to the end of this race. Well, that's what a lot of people say. Catching up to one car is one thing, overtaking them is another. We're seeing more battles here once again at the back as Jeff Rohan comes into the pits. So many incidents happening. We are seeing Kamina Reba down a lap. We also have Jeff Rohan coming into the pits as well. He's currently having his car serviced. It's been a very messy race here at the moment. So many retirees. We have 3 separate incidents resulting in the DNF of 6 cars already. Actually make that 7 because we have had 4 incidents with Jeff Clark. We forgot to mention to you about that as well. What are we looking at here? We're looking at bloodbath. We're looking at a bloodshed of a race here. We've seen 6 DNFs or 7 DNFs already. And right now, looking into current situations here, Daniel Goyena is still in, or should be in 9th place right now. Nochitayo rounds up the top 10. There might be a battle between the Fubuki and Pecora cars, but we can't confirm that for sure. Barger pulls away from Kento Kai with age-old tires right now, but Salman is going to try to get himself close, but he's not getting close enough. The new tires are not working for Salman. Barger is actually pulling away. This is very crucial in the battle for the race lead, and this will mean that Barger will stay ahead in the pit stops if Salman is not careful and if Salman isn't able to pull a few seconds away from Barger. Miyuki on the offensive against looks to be Far Kamal in 11th place, and now you can see here more side-by-side battles here. Cashew is now up into 14th place, but he has yet to pit. Currently stays up in 14th place. Now we have another movement in the pit lane. Now that is Hofu Mi. He currently pits from 5th place. And now Salman's gonna try to get close. He's not finding improvements on his lap time. 141.579. Daniel Barger's lap time last lap was a 141.178. So for Salman, it's not looking good for him as he's gonna be doomed to finish second. But still, it's gonna be a very good result for all of the for ASCII and all of our pioneers watching. Look at the ASCII car currently in contention for the race win. In Formula Hololive, no less, where Salman have seen a lackluster season up to this point. Shadow Reza looking to find some space, pace against Olgor and Kai. He's caught up to both of them, and right now Shadow Reza needs to beat these two drivers so he can get close to Barger. And looking in as for the championship hopefuls there, he is still ahead of Cashew and Gibbons. So if Shadow does not finish here, that's going to be a massive swing in the championship battle. It's going to be a massive swing in the championship battle in Shadow Reza's favor if Shadow is able to finish where he is. But it's going to remain the status quo if Shadow Reza does not finish. But he'll still score points due to the amount of DNF exceeding 5 cars. We're about to get into lap 27, the halfway stage of this race. We now will have Shaka Reza and Cashew trading blows once again. At the exit of the Donla coming into Degner, and now Shaka Reza is now up into 14th place. Cashew's now dropped down. While Shaka Reza is now up to 15th place. We forgot to mention that Goyena is also still not properly credited. Daniel Goyena under pressure from Inochi Tayo, and now we also have Wimberly and Ri Liu battling side by side. Wimberly going for the inside move down the hairpin. But meanwhile, we're looking into Tayo against Goyena. Goyena have yet to pit. Will there be any more movement in the pit lane? The answer is going to be no. And you can see here Shadow Reza trying to get close into Al Gore. We're going to go for a short break here. Once we start lap 27, we're going to be back on lap 28 as we are about to take a short commentary break. This is the Suzuka Grand Prix here in Formula Hololive Japan for the 2023 season. Jeremy Barger still leads. So Johan Stilfel makes his move into the pit lane. And right now, it's currently between a battle between Barger and Salman. And scratch that, Barger is going to be pitting this lap. We're going to be taking it to Salman instead. It's do or die time for Salman. We're going to scratch the start of the break into the next few laps here. You can see here Salman is stuck behind a lot of traffic of Kaminari Riba. That's not going to do him any favors. Barger is still stationary in the pits. Cashew and Paulie are battling side by side once again. Now Cashew's got back up into 13th place. Barger's dropped down. Barger's exiting the pit lane. Barger has the advantage by about a few seconds, crucially. Salman is ruining the lap traffic right now, and that is coming out of Riba. And right now, looking into current situations here, Barger have exited ahead of Anita Perez, crucially, and this will mean that Barger will have the cushion needed for him to win this race. Salman's gap to Barger is over 10 seconds now, but he has the warmer tires, but he's still stuck behind a lot of traffic of Reba right now. And now we're looking into more battles side by side. Now there's more retirement. This time it's Muhammad Cashew. Muhammad Cashew, who was the closest title contender after Gibbons to Sheldon Reza, have now crashed out himself. And that will be another DNF. And this will mean that Sheldon Reza will have a huge amount of buffer coming into the next round at Sugo. And right now, with all of his title contenders falling down by the wayside, Sheldon Reza has a huge amount of breathing space. Now here's the thing: if Sheldon Reza somehow crashes out, we're not gonna be hearing the end of it, because we are looking at three of the three leaders on top of the Formula Hololive overall standings crash out. We're looking at Olgor and Kai, who currently take the temporary lead here, but now you can see here Kai goes a bit wide there, nearly opens the door for Olgor. Reba currently in 26. So many retirements here. Hinoshi Tayo currently in 10th place still against Danilo Goyena, who have yet to make a pit stop. Fumi with a 141.501 as he crosses the line. Kento Kai is slowing down very dramatically, and that opens the door for the Subaluna combo to probably pounce. As you can see here, in front of them are Johan Sinful and Zeke Wimberly. I believe they have already pitted. Yes, they have already pitted there. You can see here one stop for both of them. Meanwhile, we're also going to be taking a look at the Sean Pauli coming into the pits as well here. Now, many drivers are improving their laps. Some drivers are going to go side by side into the first corner. But Kaczynski is not close enough here. And now Pauli trying to have his car service. Wimberly is now crossing through the start-finish line. Where will Pauli end up? He finally gets out. He's going to have a good buffer. He finally gets out on lap 28. But Zeke Wimberly is barreling down the main strip. What will it be enough for Wimberly? The answer is going to be no. There's going to be even more lap cars in the way of the current leaders. Now Barger's catching up into the top three, who have yet to pit. Perez is also not far behind, but Perez has very worn out tires right now. I don't think Perez is going to hang around any longer here. So Perez is going to hang off for long. He's going to try to pit until around lap 35 or so. Michael Turner, next driver to come into the pit lane, and you can see here Fumi. Farah Kamal still in. Wait, we're looking into Goyena right now. Goyena is still in 9th place, I believe. I just wanted to check the current standings here right now. Michael Turner is still in 9th. Just wanted to check where Goyena is. Goyena is now currently in 8th place. Still not recorded into the timing tower, unfortunately. But meanwhile, we're looking into another battle between some of the drivers here, but that's not because of on-track overtake. We're looking into some battles left, right, center. But meanwhile, there is a side-by-side battle between Kaczynski and Fabio Mendes. Fabio Mendes is now up into 12th place as Shaka Rizza makes his way into the pit stops. Mendes is now up into, 13th place, as we forgot to mention that Danilo Goyena is currently in 8th. There's still a lot of battle here in this racetrack here. Salman's gap to Barger is now opened up to 15 seconds. Gorim Olgo comes into the pits. Kento Kai and Shazan Reza are still up there onto the top 2 spots. They have yet to pit. Barg has now caught up into the lead battle kerfuffle here, and there's also two battles actually in different laps. One is in a lap down, the other's on the lead lap. Kento Kai currently leads this train, and meanwhile at the back we also have Sakif Reza actually exiting ahead of everyone else in the battle going down on a lap down here. You can see here Perez and Barger make contact. Barger spins out, but can he continue? He can't continue. Perez and Barger make contact at the inside of Degner 2, and that will come at the expense of Barger as he is still stuck in the gravel trap. It's stuck on the grass. He can't restart the car. That will be another driver out of the race. It was a bit of desperation there. We have Perez on the outside, Molly on the Barger on the inside of Degner 1. You can see Perez was ahead, and that actually put Barger into a spin. He nearly got his car back running, but he stalled the car, and that will be another DNF. He is still out on track. He's in a very dangerous position. He's stuck in a very dangerous position. He has his car back up on there, but he's trying to get himself back up, but he can't continue anymore as he's now officially declared a non-finisher. Suzuka takes yet another victim here, and Degner is a corner of death for a lot, for these 8 of these participants involved. And now Shadreza finally coming into the pits on lap 31, and that will leave Kento Kai up there, and that will mean Crystal Salman is gonna be in the net lead because Kai and Perez have yet to pit. And just as we thought Barger could have this race under control, the over-aggressiveness paid him the price, and that would unfortunately mean that Barger is not going to be taking any more points of this race. And frankly speaking, there's a lot of crashes here. So many DNFs happening in just a short span of time. Hinoshi Taiyo finally comes into the pits. Let's see where Daniel Goyana is right now. Daniel Goyana is currently in 7th place. There's a lot of action, a lot of crashes, a lot of spinning out and all that stuff. Daniel Barger, a lot of these drivers have got to be fuming there for being way too aggressive there in a track where you really have to be on your toes. Meanwhile, Kento Kai and Nathan Perez in a battle of their own here. They're stuck inside this conga train, and now looking into Perez. Perez is not going to pit. Kento Kai will pit, and now Salman is going to try to seize the opportunity, but he's still stuck behind the lap car of Kaminari Riba. Adachi is also coming into the pits. We are just going to have confirmation we only have 26 runners left in this race. What a bloodshed of a race this is turning out to be. Salman gets out to 2nd place there after Kento Kai makes his pit stop. Perez is yet to make her pit stop. Salman have already made his pit stop. He's just carrying on in this race as usual. And now we have Rim Olgor and bypassing Shadreza. Now Shadreza crucially exits ahead of Kento Kai. The undercut strategy has worked. Kento Kai pits a bit too late there, and Shadreza is able to get past Kento Kai. A podium position may be in the cards for Shazrin. And as Fumi tries to get close into Kento Kai of Hofumi there, as there's still a lot of jostling for position here. Just wanted to check what's going on here, especially at the start. It's nearly an hour since we got this race underway. We're looking into even more pit lane activity. Miyuki, Farah Kamal, Fabio Mendes really also coming into the pits. Miyuki is still stationary inside the car. And now Farah Kamal trying to get out there, and there she goes. Farah Kamal's gonna win this battle in terms of pit lane, And Fabi Mendes is gonna win against Ryu. Shaka Reza is gonna win against Hanari Miyuki, as these drivers are gonna be held up against each other. As you can see here, there's gonna be even more pandemonium. Polly, Wimberly, Sinful, all these drivers involved are gonna be getting their way into even more of a battle. Now we have Sean Polly overtaking Ryu for position. And now we have Anita Perez finally coming into the pits. Salman finally re-inherits the race lead. Polly trying to find a way past Shaki Freza. Shaki Freza finally gets into third place here. The leaders have already cycled through. Will there be more contact? The answer will be a resounding no. 26 drivers left in this race. It's a real race for survival. You can see here Goyena is controlling his spot in 7th place right now. And Tanrock currently rounds out the top 10. Chaos all around. There's just no other way to put it. It's just, there's a lot of chaos. You can see here Wimberly has overtaken Ryu for 19th place here now. Ryu's under pressure from Johan Sinful. Trying to barrel it down the inside. Will it be close enough? It's almost there, but maybe there's a surprise dive bomb at the Casio Triangle. There's not going to be a dive bomb at the Triangle. But meanwhile, looking into the gap between Salman and Olga. Remember, Salman is still stuck behind the lap car of Kaminai Reba, and that's actually going to play into the hands of Olga and Sadareza, who have fresher tires. And because Salman is still stuck behind the lap car of Reba, again, lap cars playing into the hands of the battle for the race lead once again. This time, we have Olga, Sadareza, Kento Kai, and Fumi trying to have their hand and trying to have a say into the battle for these positions. Whereas we have Just Pit is going to try to be in pursuit of the top 5 right now. And now we're looking into Salman still stuck behind lap traffic. And now Olgor, the gap's now dropped down to 2 seconds. Shadowreza is also not far behind. Kento Kai is also not far behind, but Shadowreza is able to pull away due to his fresher tires. And now looking into Olgor. Olgor's going to try to find an opportunity. Get closer and closer and closer. Now the gap's dropped down to 1.2 seconds. Salman's trying his best to at least nurse the tires a bit. But also he wants to try to clear the lap car because Rim Olgor is literally hunting down Salman's gap. The gap has now officially dropped down to 1.1 seconds. It's going to drop down to under a second come the end of this lap as it stands. Salman still stuck behind lap car. Salman's going to try an opportunity to make a move down the inside. Sky and Kaczynski make a move down into the pit lane. Goyena still not recorded into the timing tower, unfortunately. And now the gas dropped down to less than a second between the leaders, Salman and Olgor. Olgor having the fresher tires, and as well as Southern Reza and Kento Kai. The race for the lead continues to be on. The franticity of Suzuka circuit continues into Formula Hololive as well. 5/10 the gap between Olgor and Salman. Southern Reza is also looking to find a way through. Olgor getting very close to Salman, but it's not close enough. Nine cars already DNF. We're looking to a few drivers who will be confirmed to score just a few points here. But as you can see here, Olgor getting close to Salman, but the gap is just not there. The overtaking opportunity is just not there just yet. And I'll play to the hands of Shadow Reza is going to try his luck to overtake Olgor next. In light of Himamori Luna's recent performances in the birthday live, she has been seeing a lot of energy and she's been seeing a lot of improvements on her idol side. She's seeing more movements, more physical movements and all that. The Princess of Candy, Himamori Luna, is showing a lot of improvement, and as does Shadrin Reza, who continues to showcase his prowess. He's currently the only driver inside the top 3 to stay inside this race, to stay running inside the race, and to stay inside the top 5 at that. And Shadrin Reza hunts for what could potentially be his 4th win in Formula Hololive. Shadrin Reza gains 2 seconds ahead, 2 seconds on Olgor and Salman that last lap there, as Olgor continues to struggle passing Salman, who struggles to pass the lap car of Riba. Looking into the progress chart, who gains more than Lorenzo Ricci? No one. He's gained 24 positions. He started last. He's now in 11th place. But looking into his tires, he is yet to pit. So that gain of position is going to be short-lived. But let's just hope that he can ace his overcut strategy to the maximum. Because right now, the only places that he might be losing is up until maybe 20th or 21st. And even then, he'll have a lot of fresh tires coming his way. And speaking of which, he finally comes into the pit lane. Look at the amount of cars in the pit lane right now. We're looking at Callum Gibbons' car, Barger's, Cashews, Nakamura's, Takaboshi. And then we also have Duciem's car stranded. But as you can see here, that's not what we want to pay attention to, because right now Rim Olgor is going to try his best to overtake Salman once again here. But he's not close enough. Salman's not close enough against Riba. Ricci finally exits ahead in 19th place. Okay, finally Goyena finally gets recorded as Goyena finally pits. And as you can see here, Goyena finally gets recorded into the timing tower. Goyena has finally come into the pits. This would mean that Lorenzo Ricci is currently exiting, has already exited in 18th place. And now the battle for the race lead is going to extend to 3rd place if neither of these 2 drivers can clear the lap car soon. And speaking of which, Riba actually has a good amount of pace, because look at the amount of lap cars ahead. There's Jeff Rohan, there's Takeda Adachi, Ryuji Kazuki, Dan Evans, and Aaron Mazzi rounding up the positions outside the top 20. Salman still stuck behind lap car, the lap car refusing to let go. And that will play into the hands of Olgor, and now Olgor's going to try to swoop in for an opportunity. I think we're going to scrap the break at this point. Anyways, Shadrin Reza has now dropped the gap down to 0.6 of a second. He's going to be hot on the heels on Olgor and Salman. This race has got to be an interesting one. And as you can see, Shadrin Reza tries to get a very good launch off of the Spoon curve here. Olga's going to have a good launch of Spoon as well, Salman as well, but both of them not close enough to the lap car of Riba. Riba hasn't been cooking, as his words have been uttered yesterday about the Hall GT3 race where he finished outside the top 20. That is also the case here in Formula Hololive. Salman under pressure maybe from Olgor, and now Olgor's also under pressure from Shadrin Reza. Both of them have a 0.4 of a second of a gap, and both of them currently are on a stalemate between each other. Kento Kai is looking to find a way into these battle as well as Hofumi and Anita Perez. Frantic action from one end to the other. You can see here on both ends, it's just crazy. Salman is on lap 38, but Riba and Co in behind are still on lap 37 here. You can see here Riba still trying to defend against everyone else. You can see here Olgor trying to find an opportunity against Salman. He gets very close, but not close enough. Shadrin Reza, hopefully with his lower downforce ride, Just want to check his rear wing here. Yes, that's a low downforce. Olgo runs with a higher downforce as well as Salaman. So Shadow might want to try to minimize the amount of time lost in the corners so that he can have a better shot at the straight, especially given that he, second place might be up for grabs. Coming into the exit of Spoon Curve, Shadow is only 0.3 of a second, make that 0.4 of a second behind Olgor, but there's not enough straight left. Oh, nearly topping out top speed there, 298 kilometers an hour at the end of 130R here. Salaman still stuck behind the lap car. Riba, it might end up in a stalemate after all if they are not careful. There's just a lot of downforce in these cars, so there's a lot of dirty air as well, so they can't get as close. Kai and Fumi and also Perez catching up to the rest of the field as well. That's a train of cars starting from Sean Polly, I think. I believe that's the case. Actually start from Dan Evans, and we have Raji Kaczynski. Takeda Adachi is not far behind. Then we have Rohan, and then Riba, and then we have Rem Olgor and Sabrishwa Salman onto the lead. Sadar Reza is now under pressure from Kento Kai as well in 4th place. Fumi is in 5th. Perez is in 6th. It looks to me that all drivers have already made their pit stop except Danilo Goyena, who apparently, never mind. Goyena has already made a pit stop. Just that she hasn't been recorded into the timing tower up until then. So everyone have made their pit stop there. Goyena has one of the freshest tires, but Mazzy has the freshest tires out of anyone outright. So we may want to pay attention to Mazzy as well, because Mazzy is closing up into Miyuki and Sky right as of this moment. Right now it's a beehive right now. Zeke Williams one mentioned that with all these drivers bunching up, there's gonna be a case of trouble. If one driver makes a mistake, that's gonna cascade into the others being collected as well. That's the issue that a lot of these drivers are made aware of. And you can see here Sadren tries to get very close into Olgor. Attempt of a good exit there. He's only 0.4 behind Olgor right now, but Olgor has the slipstream assistance here. And now you can see the battle for the race lead have now extended to 6th place. Perez is now in the thick of things as well. The battle continues. 14 laps to go here in the Suzuka Grand Prix here in Formula Hololive Japan 2023. And right now we're looking into Shadow and Reza trying to find a way past Olgor. Kai's trying to find an opportunity past these 3 cars ahead. Nothing crazy at the moment as it stands, but Shadow Reza trying to find an opportunity at Degner too, but he's gonna leave him under pressure against Fumi. But Perez is also there to try to tell Fumi, hey, if you're not careful, I'm gonna steal your 5th. So anyways, back into the racing scenario here. Back into the racing scenarios here, we're looking at Salman still trying to defend for all he can, while at the same time trying to find an opportunity to pass Riba, because right now the slowest car is Takeda Adachi. Adachi is currently holding up the pack of cars from the driver from guys a lap down to the guys on the lead lap. Kaczynski is going to try to get himself past Dan Evans for 22nd. Sheldon Reza currently in 3rd place, so now trying to get close, but will it be close enough? The answer is no. You can see here still going to be a stalemate. Salman continuing to hang on to this race lead. Salman left and right coming into the S's. And as you can see here, Salman still trying to find some spots. No one is going to try to be very rowdy there by Kento Guy. I think got a bit wide there at Dunlop. That might open the door. But right now the door is not open just yet. Everyone's just gonna try to remain calm and composed. They don't want to repeat the mistakes done by about 9 drivers before them who have crashed out due to varying circumstances. Reza trying to find a way past Rem Olgor. He might be close enough. He's not close enough. Will he try for a shallow or rather late apex at Spoon Curve to try to make use of his low aero package and the back straight? The answer might be there. Chadren is getting close, but it's not going to be close enough. Oh, the guys are down to 2/10 of a second. I think it's almost enough, but still. It's not meant to be, but as you can see here, Sadareza trying to get a good exit off of the Cassier triangle to find a way past Olgor here. He's pulling in, but will it be sufficient? Not close enough. Yeah, you can see here, Adachi still leading this train of cars. We can see Adachi trying to get close to Kaczynski and Evans as well, and Mazzy all now caught up to the back of Miyuki with the freshest tires out of anyone so far. Mazzy's now caught up behind another train of cars, currently led by Leo right now in 16th place. Wimberley and Poli, Shakafreza, Mendes, and Farakama on the train of their own, and Tannerau is on a race of his own. Right now he's currently in 10th place. Goyena also being very lonely 9th place. Tayo is also being quite lonely in 8th place. Very good run though in Formula Hololive, given that Tayo's his first race. Turner as well, given that he's currently in 7th. But everyone else, it's just frantic action from one end to the other, because right now we're looking into Sheldon Reza trying to get close to Olgor once again, but this time Olgor's not closing in to Salman. Olgor's actually losing touch to Salman. That might actually be something that Sheldon Reza needs to take note, because he might just be able to steal something away from Salman, from Olgor. You can see here, it doesn't have much of a system advantage before. Might not be now, but he does have it now. But you can see Sheldon Reza getting close. But it's not going to be enough. Into the assist, that's why Sheldon Reza is going to be struggling here due to his low downforce setup. Everyone's still behaving at Dunlop curve. Everyone's just trying to manage their pace at the moment. You can see here Salman's tires are being pretty worn as we're looking into the outboard shots. Yeah, it looks pretty worn there. Front and rears are looking pretty shot. Olgor's not looking less shot, but Shadrin has a pretty shot front right here, and that's not going to do him any favors in trying to grip into the corners. He might need to take a look into Kento Kai. He's going to be looking for a revenge move after his penalty. Of course, he caused a penalty. Anyways, into lap 43 here, we're going to go into 10 laps to go here in the Suzuka Grand Prix here in Formula Hololive, Japan. And looking into the current scenario here, Salman, if he can just hang on to this race lead for the next 10 laps, he will have his first Formula Hololive win of his career. And the first win for ASCII since the start of 2022 in any of the Aero series. Chadrin's hanging on in 3rd place. He might be tempted to make another undercut move as he did the last few runs, but he's not tempted to do it now because Suzuka is a completely different beast. He has said earlier before the race. But the Sunshine does get very close there onto Olgor, but it's still not going to be enough here. Salman is also being bunched up very heavily against Riba. And now Adachi is pulling away against Jeff Rohan. Jeff Rohan is now going to be the one that is struggling for pace. Oh, you can see here, he's opened up the door. Salman's opened up the door for Olgor. Now Shadow is going to try to open up the chance as well. And as you can see here, Kento Kai might want to steal something. And I think that's a spin. And that's a spin for Anita Perez. And I think Perez might just be able to continue. That was a ballsy move for Perez against Kento Kai. Or is it against Hofumi? Or is it Hofumi making contact against Perez? But it has been pretty ugly. But Perez is able to continue. Just as what she had done last race on GT3. Perez was ahead. Perez was ahead of Hofumi, and Hofumi made contact. But fortunately, Perez was able to continue, but there's not much between them. But now, Kento Kai makes a move against Hofumi. Exiting Spoon there, Kento Kai and Fumi are now battling side by side. Kento Kai has made a move at the exit of Spoon, and now both of them are making contact at 130R. Both of them are continuing on in this race, and now looking into Perez, who have lost pace, and now Michael Turner getting into the mix as well. Both of them are still side by side, the Casio triangle, Fumi and Kai side by side. It's now taking off from here in the final 10 laps here of the Suzuka Grand Prix here in Formula Hololive Japan. It's still side by side between Fumi and Kai. Kai gets shuffled off wide, but Fumi is still steadfast in his position. He's now up to 4th place. It's do or die time for these top 5 drivers here, as now that's really taking off here. And you can see here Salman losing a lot of grip here. The tires are really being shot here. And one slip, and there could be a pandemonium of incidents happening. So there is a Fumi just behaving as they are. Olgo still hanging around in 2nd place here. Southern Reza trying to get himself into a position where he could try to gain as much positions as he can. Southern Reza still trying his best to eke out a gap. Southern Reza trying to get close, but not close enough to Olgor. But he is closer than the previous laps here. If he can just get close onto the main straight, he might just have a shot. But this time, Kento Kai is going to get very close there to Hofumi. Will there be a dirty move? No, there will not be, thank goodness. As you can see here, Kento Kai thinks of a move against Fumi, but thinks otherwise. Meanwhile, Reza only 4.5 tenths of a second behind Olgor, but still not close enough there. Lap 46 has just begun, 45 laps complete. We have 8 laps to go here. Intense battles left, right, and center, especially into the final stages of this Formula Hololive race. Southern Reza still trying to find a way past Olgor. Olgor still trying to find a way past Salman here. Salman tried to make a move around the outside of Dunlop here against Riba, but decided that it's a bit too risky, then he has to close the inside lines as soon as possible. Kento Kai gets very close there to Fumi, but they're not close enough there. Perez is going to go for round 2 after the spin earlier in the race. Olgor under pressure from Shazrin Reza, who has been hounding his back. But, well, that may not be where the battle lies. You can see here everyone's a bit strung out. 5 tenths of a second gap between each other. Shazrin Reza this time gets very close, but I think he has messed up the exit there on Spoon Curve, but that doesn't matter. Olgor has a poor exit there. Shazrin Reza might think of a move down the inside. But he has to think otherwise there. Frantic action continues here in Suzuka. And as you can see here, Shoutin Reza trying to get close to Olgor. Olgor trying to get close to Salman. Salman has gained a few seconds against Allgor. Allgor have lost a bit of time. Shadran Reza's hot on the heels against Allgor, but will it be enough? Yoshitayo might think of a shot again into the top 5 if they are not careful. Looking into Perez right now on board the number 35 Sakuramiko Toyota powered car. Oh, we can see here Allgor gets very close there into Salman. Will there be a dive bomb down the inside? Kai is about to make a dive bomb. He gets a bit shallow there because he knows that he's not going to be making it against Fumi. We'll have to think otherwise. The gap between the top 7 are only separated by around 3 to 4 seconds. But that's only because of lap cards, but still. At Spoon Curve, this is where Rim Allgor is going to try to have a lot of struggling because he's going to be squirming around a lot here. And as you can see here, he has gained a good amount of time there against Salman, but for Shadran Reza, he's not getting a good amount of time, so the status quo will remain the same. Salman is going to try to make a move down the inside of Reba once again, but he's not close enough. That's going to open the door for Allgor to try to get close. No dive bomb down the inside just yet. Everyone's just still trying to behave as they are. Kai getting close to Perez. We've now caught up to Michael Turner. Wimberley against Pauly. Their gap is only 3/10 of a second there. Mazzy has struggled to overtake. Is struggling to overtake Miyuki despite having the freshest tires. So that's why we have some drivers thinking he has the undercut strategy that we need to be in. And right now, some can feel some drivers are being slightly impatient there coming into the end. Looking into the scenario here, we're looking into Allgor, who's now dropped the gap down to 0.2 of a second against Salman. He has better pace on the corners, but might be lacking on the straight. Shadran Reza looking for an opportunity, but not close enough. The gap dropped down to 0.1 of a second at one point. That just shows you that there's still nothing between these drivers as we're getting into the conclusion of the Suzuka Grand Prix. It's literally a parade, a bright parade of that as these drivers are struggling to overtake each other. But as you can see here, Allgor gets a bit too close there against Salman there, and that might not do favors. But I think it's still pretty good on the chin here. As you can see here, the gap's still pretty much there. Oh, you can see here, Allgor looking down the inside of Reba to find at least some space. And as you can see, Allgor against Salman, not there just yet. Allgor has had a pretty good finish there early in the race. I think he's scored a second place in Sepang in the Formula Hololive round. Coming into the final few laps here. We have around 5 laps to go here in the Suzuka Grand Prix. Allgor gets very close here in the S's, but it's not going to be close enough. Will Allgor think of a move down the inside of Dunlop? As you can see here, Salman gets very shallow there. Gets very wide there off of Dunlop. Now Shadran Reza might think of a move down the inside. The answer is going to be no again. But as the laps tick down, the tires are going to be screaming for mercy as they're losing grip one by one. These tires are being overheated to almost a point of no return here. And looking into the current situation here, Fumi is also hot on the heels of Shadran Reza, who wants to try to keep his championship hopes alive. As of saying this, Fumi is currently about 300 plus points behind Shadran Reza. And while the damage will still be there, he will have a good amount of breathing space as he might still be in contention in the final round. Allgor gets close, not close enough. There will not be a dive bomb. We're coming into 4 laps to go here in Suzuka. And right now, the status quo has always remained the same. There hasn't been much changes in the timing tower, as you can see here. Everyone's still just stuck behind each other. And now you can see here, Salman still stuck behind Riba, who is really being the catalyst of this race, being the one that determines who's going to be winning here. And now you can see here also Jeff Rohan also pulling away from Riba. And so it's a case of whoever gets to pass Riba first, at least in the lead, will be the one that wins the race, or whoever survives. And now looking into Olga and Shadreza once again coming into the exit of Dunlop here. That's why the grip is starting to really become limited. Olga at least is getting a bit close there. Not losing touch there to Salman, at least not under pressure from Shazrin. Just gonna take a look at the rest of the drivers here. Antanarao and Goyena having a pretty quiet race up to this point. Far Kamal pulling away from Fabio Mendes, Shakif Reza, Sean Pauly, and Wembley, who are also in the race of their own. Liu and Sinful are also in their own mini battle packs, as well as Ed Sky, Hunter Milky, Aramezi. Dan Evans gets a bit lonely here, but he has Raji Kaczynski as company, Adachi and Rohan as well. Reba still leading the field of lead lap cars, as he might still have this race under control. Olga gets close. I don't think it's close enough. Oh, Shadrin gets a bit closer to 1.8 seconds right now to open up to 4.8. Shadrin Reza has that straight line speed, but Olga has a slipstream as well. That's not going to do them any favors here. We're on to the final 3 laps of this race. Solomon just needs 3 more laps to hang on to this race lead to bring home the win for ASCII and her Pioneers for the first time since the start of 2022. We have seen cars who have only taken wins in Formula Hololive and not in Hololive GT3. For example, we have Fabio Mendes and Lorenzo Ricci this season. We also have Shakib Reza, who have only won in Formula Hololive up to this point. And right now, Salaman is about to make history as the first driver representing ASCII to win a race in the ARO. And now looking into Olga, Shadrin, and Reza. Shadrin looks to have the move down the inside at the hairpin, as Olga has actually messed up the exit off of Deckner. Shadrin is looking for an opportunity to at least steal second. Oh, and as you can see here, Olga gets very close there to Salaman here. Will Olga have a very amazing exit there? So Olga gets very close. The gaps drop down to around less than 0.3 of a second. Shadrin Reza is gonna try to find something, to steal something in the top 2 to really eat away the gaps at the lead. And as you can see here, lap 52 53, the penultimate lap of the Suzuka Grand Prix. We're going to be paying attention to current situations here right now. So Shadrin Reza is still trying his way, trying to find a way past Olga. As you can see here, his front side tires are already shot. He's really trying his best here, but it's not forthcoming. You can see the amount of wear on those front and rear tires. The tires are screaming the most out of anyone so far, but he's going to try to press on anyway. Looking at Rim Olgor, he gets very close, but not close enough against Salman. Salman will have some breathing space. And now, Olgor, will he have a good exit off of Deckner? The answer is going to be pretty okay. He might have a decent exit there. Well, take one mishap for a chain reaction move to happen. Now we might just have one as well. You can see here Turner trying to make a move against Kento Kai at the hairpin. That's going to open up the door for Perez to steal one back. Oh, you can see here they're going side by side there. Hofumi and Kento Kai, and Fumi manages to defend. But will it be enough for Fumi to defend 4th place? He knows he's got a championship to fight. He knows he has a championship that he's going to be aiming for all the Soratomos watching. And coming to the final lap, the Pioneers and Aski have something to be excited about because they haven't seen a win since the start of 2022. Salman coming into the final two corners to begin the final lap of the Suzuka Grand Prix. The Aski ride have seen some multiple changes throughout her tenure. Aski have seen her style drawn by Kazuko Sato at one point. Then has her style change into the Kogecha style. Then Komizuki gets into the mix, being the illustrator for Aski for 2022. And now, coming into 2023, the new illustrator Scotty have brought in a new fresh lick of paint for Aski. As we see new idol uniforms, new teams, a new look for the Aski car. And now with the new driver, Krzysztof Salomon from Poland, he's going to try to bring it home for the Pioneers. For the first time in 2022, he's going to try to bring home a win for Aski. But not before Rim Olger will try to deny him the chance. He's going to try to make a move down the inside. He's going to try to make a dive bomb and a half at the hairpin. He's going to try to upset the Pioneer Party by bringing the Subaru car up to the lead of the race. Coming to the final lap. But manages to defend Krzysztof Salomon. But it's not over yet. Olgor's going to try a one last gung-ho move coming into the final few corners here. And you can see here Salomon's going to try to make a move against Riba, and that's going to mess up his entry into 130R, but I think it's going to be enough. Krzysztof Salomon has defied all the odds. He has shown that he's got potential to be a great driver in the aero. For the first time since the start of the 2022 season, Krzysztof Salomon is going to bring home the win for Aski and the Pioneers at the Suzuka Grand Prix. A superbly done race for everyone involved. Rim Olger brings home second despite his best efforts to try to race Salomon cleanly. What a race that we have witnessed here. Sheldon Rizek finishes home in third place to maintain his championship lead and to really pull away against Callum Gibbons and Mohamed Cashew. Kanto Kai finishes fifth after his attempt to steal fourth place from Fumi, ended up coming up with nothing. Turner finishes 6th, Perez 7th, Tayo 8th, Goyena 9th, Tanner 9th. Farah Kamal will finish home in 11th place as it stands in a very chaotic race where we saw a lot of crashes and a potential last lap move once again. Suzuka never fails to disappoint. Mendes looking to stay home in 12th place. Shaka will bring it home in 13th as it stands. Paulie 14th, Wimberley 15th, Realio 16th, Sinful 17th, Richie is in 18th, Sky 19th. And Hanare Miyuki 20th place for her as it stands. Mazzy 21st, 22nd for Evans, Kazuki 23rd, Adachi 24th, Rohan 25th, and Reba in 26th. And we're out of the way with no changes in the timing tower here. We're just gonna go for a bit of a intermission here. And with that out of the way, the race, the Suzuka Grand Prix finally comes to a close. We're gonna be running out a field of drivers who have finished this race. Krzysztof Salomon takes his first win in the ARO for Aski. The first win for Aski and her Pioneers in the ARO since the start of the 2022 season. Congratulations to Salomon for finally breaking through. Rim Olga continues to finish in second place. Sheldon Rizza finishes for the first time in his Formula Hall career. He finishes outside of first place, but still inside the points in third place. Fumi finishes 4th for Tokino Sora. Kento Kai runs out the top 5 for Aki Rosenthal. Michael Turner finishes 6th for Noel. We have Perez in 7th. Hinoshi Tayo gets into the Formula Hall for the first time. He finishes in 8th place. Daniel Goyana survives the crazy race to finish 9th. With Aldous and Tanner running out the top 10. Farah Kamal is in 11th place for Yukihana Lamy, with Fabio Mendes 12th for Hakui Koyori. an amazing race for all drivers involved. Shaka Reza also having a decent race in 13th place. Sean Pauli finishes 14th for Inugami Korne alongside Zeke Wimberley, 15th for Okami Miho. Ridley 16th for Sakamata Koloi and Johan Sinful 17th. For Matsuri, Richie finishes 18th for Marine. Sky finishes 19th for Iroha, and 20th place goes to Hanarui Miyuki in the Amane Kanta car. Rounding out the last of the 6 finishers here, RaceSimStudio finishes 21st for Watame, alongside Dan Evans, who finishes 22nd for Louis. Kazuki finishes a lowly 23rd for Choco, with Takeda Adachi finishing 24th for Lapless Darkness. For 25th, it's Jeff Rohan for Tokoyami Towa, alongside Kaminari Reba, who put us an amazing show by being the barrier for Salman, and giving us a lot of action there. We can't thank Kaminari Reba enough. He's the last of the finishers. Everyone who finished has finished on the lead lap. Daniel Barger, the first to crash there on lap 30. And he will be credited with 27. Crash on lap 26. He will be credited with 28. Jeff Clark crashed on lap 22. He will be credited with 29. And Kizaru Leo, who crashed with Airi Nakamura on lap 20, due to him being ahead of Nakamura at the crash site, will mean that Kizaru Leo will be ahead of Nakamura, which denies Nakamura a chance to finish inside the points. Takaboshi have clashed with UCM at the Deckner curve on lap 6, which means that they will be credited with 32nd and 33rd respectively. And Sean Galai and Callum Gibbons, last of the 2 drivers who crashed on lap 1, also at Deckner, will be credited with 34th and 35th. So let's take a look into the replay. But before that, I want to share my thoughts. What races have I been looking at? I've been off from streaming for over a month, and we're seeing such a chaotic race. So anyways, we're just gonna get into the action here. We're gonna go on board, especially the Count Gibbons and Sean Galiles on board, just to see what is definitely happened to these 2 drivers, because we will focus on Salman when the camera went on. So we're just gonna go check up into Cal Gibbons and Sean Galiles on board. So here it is. Here's the replay. Here's Cal Gibbons trying to muscle his way into a few positions here. It goes outside of Sean Galiles here. They're side by side with Gibbons. Oh, Gibbons tried to find a spot against Sean Galiles. He went for a move that got closed very quickly. Oh, with Borden crashing out, you can see here. Very, very unlucky here, as you can see here. A very nasty collision between the 2. You can see Gibbons tries to continue, but it just accounts to nothing, as you can see here. Here's the outboard shots of Galiles and Gibbons' crash. You can see here. We're gonna go for the onboard we're gonna go for the alternate shots here. We're gonna focus on Callum Gibbons. See what happened to them. So here's what happened to them at the replay at the start of this race. Here's another angle. Ooh, Gibbons went for the move and it just didn't accrue, and it gets collected for good measure by what should be Michael Turner. Ooh, so we're just gonna go on board Michael Turner here just to see what happened on his onboard here. That was pretty ugly. Oh, made contact as well. So we just also want to take a look into Sean Galiles is on board, who actually spun out. We're just gonna go into the rear end, see what happened here. Ooh. 2-time unlucky for Sean Galiles, as he was involved in yet another lap 1 incident in Suzuka. Very unlucky for him. But that's not the only incident that we want to take note, because we also have incidents between Takaboshi and Maverick DCM. Here's what happened between the two. We're gonna go on board here. Here's Nakamura who edges ahead. Here's Takaboshi. Oh, and Takaboshi did the same mistake. And I think it's not the only one here. Oh, it was between Takaboshi and Nakamura, and then at the same time, also two things happening. You can see here. I think these are two incidents happening at once. You can see here. So looking into the replays again, there are literally two side-by-sides here, especially between Sean Pauli and Johan Sinful here. And then here's the battle between Takaboshi and Nakamura. Oh, and that explains Takaboshi, but it doesn't explain DCM. He actually got collected. Oh, nowhere to go for DCM. Literally a passenger of Takaboshi's spinning antics. As you can see here, we're gonna go on board again to Takaboshi. And as you can see here, a similar incident occurred between Pauli and Sinful just up front. But they managed to keep it clean. Here it is. Oh, this time for both Sinful and Pauli, they managed to survive. And just want to go on board the rear end of Nakamura. I just wanted to see what happened here. And as you can see here, contact. Oh, a massive and violent hit for these three drivers involved, especially for DCM. Oh, hit Takaboshi head on, T-boner. You can see here. Oh, massive crash there for these two drivers. But that's not the only incidents that we want to take a look into. We also have a few more, especially given situation between Clark and how do we say this? For both Clark and this one. Just wanted to remind you of what happened between Nakamura and Sean Pauli here. Nakamura actually pitted ahead of Kizuhara Leo. So let's take a look into Leo's onboard. See what's happening here. This is around the exit of Spoon. Here's Kizuhara Leo's onboard. Into 130R. Nakamura struggled with the exit of Spoon Curve, went onto a gap, and then had a massive collision with Nakamura. So let's take a look back on what has happened there. Here is the onboard of Nakamura as Kizaru makes a dive bomb. There was not enough space. Drags Leo into the tire barrier alongside Nakamura. That was a bit messy. So here is Nakamura as a Zomba. We're going to switch over to Leo's as well. You can see here the rate of knot of which Leo manages to pull ahead. That's massive. You can see it. There's the contact, then collects Nakamura. Oh, massive collision between these two drivers been involved. Hopefully they're hopefully okay. Meanwhile, here's the outboard shots. Yeah, it is as violent as we thought. Here's another one of those outboard shots, and here it is. Oh, massive crash there between the two. Crashes left, right, and center. But meanwhile, we're gonna go into Jeff Clark, where we'll go into his onboard now. See what has happened to Clark. He has also had an off somewhere. At the same lap, actually, at the same moment on where Nakamura and Leo crash. Here's Jeff Clark. We're gonna go on board first. He's on board with Cashew. Ooh, tries to thread a needle against Cashew. Gets into the inside wall. Gets into the outside wall at Degner 2. And you can see here, we're gonna go on board Cashew, especially at the back. Ooh, Cashew really tried to hang on around the inside line. That was Cashew's corner. And we're gonna go again, another outboard shot of the incident. Oh, contact. And there's a good amount of damage there on Cassius' car alongside Jeff Clark, which both of them would end up not finishing the race. Here's what happened to Mohamed Cashew here. Here's Cashew in 130R against Hanari Miyuki. Oh, tried to get around the inside, but made contact, backed out of it when the car was very loose. And obviously Cashew had to be the one that has to lose out. And that's a massive amount of damage on the right side suspension. That's why he can't continue. Meanwhile, we're going to be taking a look at the Hanari Miyuki's onboard. Here's Miyuki trying to defend against Cashew. It's Miyuki gets the corner by turning. And as you can see here, oh, a massive slime into the wall there for Cashew as he was involved in yet another incident. Oof, massive collision here. But that's not the only one we want to pay attention to, because we have a high-profile crash actually. Because we also want to talk about the guys like Daniel Barger, who had this race under control, only for it to be thrown away. Here's Daniel Barger. Again, it's basically a case of what happened at Degner. You can see here Barger tries to make a dive bomb against Anita Perez, spins the car, tries to continue the car, but obviously could not continue the car any further. There was a good amount of damage on that car. And meanwhile, we're going to go take a look back into what has happened here onto the onboard shots. We're going to go into Perez's onboard, especially in the rear end. Towards Perez's corner. Ooh. And this time we're going to go for the outboard shot. Ooh, it gets really ugly. Here's the outboard shot. Here's Daniel Barger, who was the leader of this race, who was the net leader. Spins out and retires. And we want to talk about last lap action. We're going to be giving you some last lap action as well. We're going to be showing you what happened with Rem Olgers' gung-ho on board in the final few laps here. Let's go here. Coming to the exit of... It actually started at the exit of Dunlop, actually. You can see here. Salman really struggled at the exit of Dunlop as he's trying to make a move against Riba, but Riba was there to defend his position. And that allowed Rem Olgor to get very close into this section they go. And coming into the hairpin, he's as close as he could get. He knows it's the last lap. He's going to try to make a gung-ho pass down the inside. Shuffles Salman off wide. Olgor has that brief moment where he's in the lead, but he's in the outside of this corner. And that allowed Salman to forge ahead, especially coming into Spoon Curve. And that allowed Salman to really stretch his legs out at the finish. Whatever case is, another race in Suzuka, another race to remember. So anyways, we're going to go into the overall championship standings in Formula Hololive Japan as we're about to close this stream. So we're just going to go to a bit of a result here. We have had a confirmation on the drivers who have failed to finish in this race and all that stuff. So we're going to go into a very jarring championship outlook here, because with only one of the three championship contenders only showing up, this means one thing. Shailen Reza has a very huge lead over Hofumi in the overall standings. Anita Perez consolidates third place after her good run in the Suzuka Grand Prix. Callum Gibbons will end up being one of the losers here. He's dropped down to fourth place. He's going to need a miracle. A lot of these drivers need a miracle for each of these drivers to win the Formula Hololive Japan title. Rem Olgor is in fifth. We have Danilo Goyena jumping up to sixth. Crystal Salman jumps up to seventh place after his win. But I feel like we just also wanted to tell you this, that there is the huge contrast in this championship battle here. A lot of drivers stealing points from each other. That's why
we have a huge gap in the championship. So here it is. Cashew is currently in 8th, Cantarao 9th, Sean Pauli 10th, mixing it an Okakuro 9th and 10th. Barger drops down to 11th. Lorenzo Ricci is in 12th. Turner 13th. Sinful 14th. Shakareza jumps up into 15th place after he makes a slow rebound. Kento Kai drops down to jumps up to 16th. Kizaru Leo 17th. Miyuki 18th. Hinochi Taiyo 19th. And Mendes in the 20th position. Reba is in 21st. Rogozinski 22nd. Wimberley 23rd. Ryu 24th. And Shangalaya 25th. Maverick Duciem 26th alongside Fuji Farakawa in 27th. Ari Nakamura in 28th. Marazi 29th. And Evans in 30th. And rounding out the last of the drivers, Keko Takawaboshi is in 31st with Jeff Clark 32nd, Jeff Rohan 33rd, Sky 34th, and Takara Ajachi rounding out the last of the drivers in 35th. So whatever the case here, we hope everyone here has enjoyed the stream here in Suzuka. It's the Suzuka Grand Prix. I'm Mohamed Shazareza in the commentary booth, and you've been watching Round 6 of the Hololive Formula. We've been watching Round 6 of Formula Hololive Japan, the Suzuka Grand Prix.